Support for Radio Friends comes from OsteoStrong. Improvements in bone density, strength, and power can be achieved by weekly 5-minute no-sweat sessions on their 4-Spectrum machines. These isometric robotic machines safely emulate high-impact loading on different parts of the skeletal system, which stimulates activity in bone-building cells. Balance and agility can be improved by 2-minute sessions on vibration plates. Every session is supervised by a trained coach. Learn more on Facebook or call to set up a complimentary wellness assessment and session. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Thursday, January the 19th. I want to introduce you to Brittany Whitley from Most. Good to have you here, Brittany Whitley.
Thanks, Paul. How you doing?
Okay, I'm doing that because I butchered your name up several times there. But you're with the Most Policy Initiative, and you work with the legislature. Then there's, second week now?
Yeah, they started on January 4th.
And how do you go down? You got a whole new batch. How do you go down and introduce yourself and say, hey, we're from Most Policy Initiative. We want to help.
Yeah. So you're absolutely right. We have a whole new group of freshman legislators that were just elected. So they haven't met us before, don't know what we do. So our team spends days in the Capitol. Usually Monday through Wednesday, we're in the Capitol, just walking around, knocking on doors.
So wait, you don't have appointments?
Not all. Most of the time we don't.
So you're just walking down the hall, you knock on door and you say, hi, I'm so-and-so from Most Policy Initiative. I want to tell you what we do.
Exactly.
And see how we can help you.
That's what we do.
What do you find that most of the people say?
So I think a lot of the time, most, especially new folks, are kind of surprised to hear that we exist, didn't know we exist, and want to just learn a little bit more about us. I think one of the most common questions we get is, so you say you're nonpartisan, how are you nonpartisan? How do you actually do that? I think that's the biggest place we have to build trust with new folks.
So how are you nonpartisan?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we try to be really, really careful about how we present research information to make sure that folks kind of see all of the different trade-offs. So we don't say you should vote for this or this is a bad bill, this is a good bill. Instead, we say here's what other states have done and here's what's worked and here's what hasn't worked. Here are things you need to think about. Maybe a bill has health consequences and economic consequences and environmental consequences.
But you can't put in your personal feelings into this.
We
Do you
can't.
find is that difficult?
It is. I think for anybody, you have your own values
Of
you
course.
bring.
Yeah.
There's bills you kind of maybe personally want to see pass or not pass. So we have a peer review system. I think this is the best way we can kind of get past that. And so that means if I'm writing a research note, at least 3 other people on my team have to look at it and clear it as nonpartisan and unbiased. And they'll push me and say, I don't know, the way that you wrote that kind of seems like you favor that or think that's bad. And we try to get that kind of out of the process before a lawmaker ever sees it.
Okay. Do you ever have a lawmaker say, thanks, but no thanks?
Occasionally, I think it's rarer than you'd expect. Sometimes when people are skeptical of us, they'll start to say, we'll see what you guys do, maybe we'll reach out to you later. But it's rare that we kind of get dismissed out of hand.
Yeah. Have you ever had anybody just say, no, I don't want you?
We've had a couple, but I can count them on one hand, the amount of people that tell us we're busy this year, try again later.
You're a wonderful resource. You're a wonderful resource, and
free.
It's free, and it's free. That's what I was going to say. If our listeners and viewers want to get involved with this, what can they do?
So go to mostpolicyinitiative.org, and on our website, you can see all of the research we've published. As soon as a legislator gets it, you can also access it for free. That also has our contact information to get involved, to volunteer or donate or support or work in other ways.
Do people who ever go to your website leave suggestions for you about something that they would like to see in a bill or how they feel about things?
Occasionally, it's not super often we get that. Right now, we can't take requests from individuals. And so if someone emails me and says, hey, can you look at this? I can only do it if their lawmaker asks. So we always encourage people to talk to your representatives, talk to your senators. They can make that request, and that's how you can work through the process.
You can't answer a person's individual request.
Right. If you emailed me and asked me for something, I couldn't write you a note.
Okay, so you got to contact the legislature. Tell them this is what you want them to work on. Remember, you're their boss.
Exactly.
And then they can contact Most. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks, Paul.
Your website, or people want more information, what's the website to go to?
Mostpolicyinitiative.org.
Okay. Pleasure talking with you.
Thanks, Paul.
Now we're going to talk about the Salvation Army. We think of the Salvation Army going into Christmas time. This is the middle part of January, but the fundraising still is continuing, and the need for money is still there. It doesn't end at Christmas time or the New Year. Actually, Salvation Army is helping the community 365 days of the year, 12 months of the year.
That's right.
I want to introduce you to Major KEVIN CEDERVALL. And you were telling me, Major, when you came in that you fell about $31,000 short.
Yeah, our annual Christmas goal, it was $475,000, and we ended up about $31,000 shy of that goal.
So what happened that you didn't make that?
We had a couple issues. One, we think there's just a general concern in the economy. We noticed that we are not the only Salvation Army that didn't make the goal, so we kind of felt a little better about that.
But what happens as far as that you're $31,000 short?
At this point, we have to look at what that's going to cause. We're going to have to do some adjustments in the budget and look for some other funding to make sure that we don't have to cut program.
But here's the thing to keep in mind. You are still fundraising until for that goal till the end of January.
Yeah, we continue our Christmas goal till the last day of January.
So if you have not made a donation to the Salvation Army and you would like to, there still is an opportunity for you to make that contribution. And there might be somebody out there who wants to donate a whole $30,000 or $31,000 to you. I mean, that's not out of the question. If you can see it in your heart to make a donation still until January 31st to the Salvation Army, that will help them make their goal for 2022. In the meantime, you're still servicing people. You're taking care of people in January, in February, March, and April. Do you need volunteers to help out?
Oh, almost always. One of the big initiatives that we're going for this year is our Life Skills Education Center. We're starting up a committee to help us find classes and teachers that want to help people with educational aspects of what we call the common sense ideas of how to cook cheaply, or how to do job interviews, or just any of those things, like going coupon shopping. And a lot of people we found don't have that built into their lives. So we want to kind of help people get that education so that they can build that into their lives so that they can just better their own lives.
If people want to help out, what's the best way to do? How do they contact you?
They can call us anytime and talk to Sean Spence, our Community Development Director. And
at
he will
573-442-3229. Or if you want to make a donation to the Salvation Army, now is the time to do it. They can put a check in the mail. Just look it up, Google the Columbia Salvation Army, or you can go online and make a donation for the Columbia Salvation Army.
That's right.
Thank you very much, Major.
Thank you.
Best of luck, and I hope you make that goal before the end of January.
We're hoping.
All right, drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu. Remember, they need another $31,000. Maybe you can help.